Hey, how's it going, guys? Usually just end as soon as I turn on my camera. It's a little ominous. How's it going, guys? Happy Tuesday. 5.8 preview came out, and the roadmap, finally. I wish they would release the roadmap before the preview, personally. So we have a little bit of a hype building. And then the what's it called? The actual preview, but it's fine. Anyway, I have not seen it. I've seen one thing. I've clicked on one thing. But other than that, I have not seen it. So what I wanted to do is the same thing I do every single time it comes out. Look through it all live with you guys. That's the plan. I'm going to go through everything the 5.8 preview, I guess everything the 5.8 roadmap has to offer, and speak on anything I have any experience with as someone that does primarily PCG YouTube videos and is generally a tech artist otherwise. So we'll see. We'll see what I can provide insight on and what things seem cool, and I'm looking forward to trying. So shall we get into it? This time around, I've gone full screen. Because now I know better. I just go full screen, and it's just a lot nicer of an experience. Plus, on this time around, I'm not in the way, so zoom it in. Anyway. Shall we get started? Let's start with rendering megalites. Now entering production ready. Ooh. For 5.8. Greatly reducing noise in order to maximize visual fidelity. Great, because noise was pretty heavy. Also improving overall performance, achieve 60 FPS. I'd love to get the test scene and the test conditions for the 60 FPS. Because 60 FPS on what hardware, on what scene, under what conditions? A cube in the world can easily get 60 FPS. 300 million characters running around doing animations with megalites probably aren't going to be 60 FPS. So I would love to know what is the benchmark for the 60 FPS personally. Maybe that's available somewhere and I just not been able to find it. But I looked before and I wasn't able to find it. But it being production ready is great. New tooling has also been introduced to help debug and optimize your scenes so you can place lights with confidence and embrace a truly dynamic world. This is great. This is really nice. Transmission support, subsurface scattering. Oh. Froxel-based translucency support, high quality front layer translucency lighting. IES support. Great for volumetrics and translucency. Lighting channel support, great. Cloud shadows, okay. So this is good. I'm glad. I don't think I'm going to be able to use this much. I mean, okay, it depends on the environments I'm going to make for my game. I really need to make use of scenarios where I have a lot of lights, but to be fair, I kind of want to put a lot of lights in my scene or in my game in a sense because we get nice rim lights and we get just nice lighting in general. So maybe I will end up using megalites down the line. Right now, I don't have enough lights for me to make use of it for my game. But nevertheless, in virtual production, this is going to be great. Lumen medium quality beta. Old medium GI, new medium GI, and high GI. Okay. Interesting. Why does this get so red? Why is it so red here? Or here. It's because of the light, I guess. I feel like, is this really the same? Lighting, just GI difference? Because I feel like it would GI, I guess, I mean, it could, yeah. I guess it depends on what's going on around it. It could brighten it. Lumen now supports medium quality global illumination using irradiance fields with probe occlusion. Twice as fast as Lumen high quality, which targets 60 FPS on PS5, while maintaining the art direction for games that rely on global illumination. Is the new default for current gen handheld consoles, where it can be used at 60 FPS and supported on PC as well. Okay. I mean, look. A nice, more optimized Lumen that's, you know, not the highest quality is going to be great. I'm all for it. You know. We'll see what the quality is. 5.7 medium looks like shit, so the new medium GI is a big improvement. Much closer to high and epic. What is this, like a setting somewhere? I've never heard of medium Lumen. Is the Lumen not just Lumen? You just have settings you can change? Because I've never heard of medium GI on Lumen, or low Lumen, or high Lumen. Or is this just a... So I'm not sure what the medium is. It's just scalability settings. Okay, so this is just under the hood stuff. This is just scalability under the hood stuff. You're not actually setting it yourself to be... I mean, I guess if your entire project is set to medium, you'll just have a better effect. Okay, this is just under the hood stuff. Oh, that's cool. That's great. All for it. If the new medium quality, you can still have a Lumen with better... Yeah. All for this. Hey, Kane, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Is that more than some scalability settings? You ever written them for low and medium? Couldn't tell you. You might be able to try it in the preview, but really probably full release is one is going to be for sure. You can know for sure. FSSS. Fog Screen Space Scattering Experimental. Huh. An experimental fog screen space scattering feature on the exponential height fog component that approximates multiple light scattering within participating media. So it's... Okay, I see. So all of like the emissive displays kind of get a little bit of a fog effect. This is nice. I feel like, I don't know if it's the compression of this image. Probably it is, but it looks like there's some banding there. It's probably just the compression of this GIF. I'm not going to hold their quality to an insane degree here, but that's nice. Yeah. This is going to help a lot for making it feel a little more dynamic and volumetric. I feel it's a little intense. I hope that's just settings again. So we'll see. Nice, but I like the general direction of this. It is experimental. Substrate NPR shading. What is this? 5.8 introduced experimental substrate toon shading, a stylized non-photorealistic rendering solution built on the substrate blendable G-buffer legacy mode. It supports all light types, including local lights, skylights, and lumen global illumination, and exposes precise control over diffuse and specular response through a new substrate toon ESDF and toon profile asset. Interesting. Now, it's a very specific type of toon. Substrate NPR shading features include ramp-based diffuse and specular control with dithering, self-shadowing, extinction, and hatching patterns. Anisotropic specular highlights and global illumination scale controls Forward shading support, silhouette, edge technology, and performance optimization are planned for future releases. It's cool. It's definitely, like, if going off of this image, it's definitely different than, like, the style of the post-process tune that I'm using. But it's definitely interesting. I don't think it's something that I'd want for my game, but I can definitely see that this is be a nice art style for a lot of games. Cool. So that was all rendering. Character animation. Oh, this stuff I can't speak much on, but you know, we'll see what's going on here. Modular control rig improvements. Improving scalability and day-to-day usability of modular control rig. I mean, look, I'll take your word for it. Honestly, I'm not gonna read this entire thing. I've made a modular control rig once. No. I've added rigs, controllers once in a previous version. Visually, this looks nice. I don't know if I was doing something different and what I was doing was different than this, or this is just a new upgraded one, but visually this looks good. I'm all for it. Skeletal editor, blend shape rigging tools. I'm not a rigger. I'm not gonna pretend to be a rigger. Let's see. Animate with control rig physics. Control rig physics moves to beta. This release introduces new force-based functionality and expanded tooling to enable more physics-driven animation workflows. Well, that's really cool. I don't know if this is the best thing to demo it on, but it's kind of funny. Hey Flick, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. But this is cool because it's showing like basically a thruster type thing. Can you do like flying with physics using this? I'd be interesting to see someone make a tutorial on this of how to set up flying characters using physics. That'd be cool. Someone should make that. I have no idea how to do any of it, so someone should make it. 5.8 got lots of cool stuffs. I mean, it definitely has a few already, which is good. Dynamics particle-based physics for control rig. I feel, didn't they already have something similar to this? Lightweight particle. Oh, so it wasn't particle-based, to be fair. Particle-based solver built directly into a control rig for high-performance in-game character simulations. I mean, cool. I'm all for better rigs. I'm not a rigger, but I'm sure people who are rigged are going to be happy with it. Animate with direct mesh controls. Direct mesh controls enable control rig controls to be represented directly on sections of the skeletal mesh, allowing animators to manipulate rigs by interacting with the character's surface in context. So you just click on the body parts. I mean, that is definitely really nice. If that's what they're showing and they can click on the body parts, that's really nice. I'm curious how this is actually set up and how does it distinguish certain like faces or whatever of a body part. But cool. Hey Marcus, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, preview. Preview's out. Okay, more rigging stuff. Simple view for sequencer. Is it gonna help me? Oh, okay, well that's actually nice. I don't need to have like the entire sequencer open. But to be fair, that is usually pinned right for the content bar here. The content drawer, it's the same place, so it's probably not gonna be too useful for me as someone that has the content there. But it's cool that you can collapse it. auto baking for sequencer. Yeah, for people that are animating right now in sequencer, sure, this is gonna be great. I'm using Cascador. And then bring it into Unreal. But, you know, if you like this workflow, yeah, this is probably gonna help. Okay, do we have so much in character animation? My God, why can't PCG get that much? Animation mixing and sequencer. I'm gonna skip through a few of these because, again, not my thing. Foot definition for retargeting. Cool. Retarget override sets. Rip mapper animation retargeting tool. What is this? Rip mapper? Oh, it's already a thing, apparently, that I've never heard of. Okay, fair enough. You know what? Continue on. Wonder why they aren't talking about UAF? Surely had improvements. What is UAF? Populate your world with a metahuman crowd. Assemble optimized instances of metahuman characters. Create crowds compatible with mass. Last I checked, metahumans were still not performant compared to just doing like a basic character. Like they're still on the heavy side. So, I mean, if they've improved the performance of metahumans to be able to do this, cool. But it also says with specifically, or is it? With mass. So which means C++. And also means that this is probably not for like main characters or like lots of main characters. This is more like NPCs walking around. Still good. You don't need any anyway. Most features rebuild it yourself with Win and the default settings. Got like 50 FPS and a pack should build more. Looks 95% the same. Oh, you took a look at some fab assets from Hivemind. Some are labeled as game ready and some not. I mean, hey, you managed to recreate it. Cool. I don't know what their stuff is, but as long as you got what you needed, it's the main thing. Probably improve the nanite logic, maybe. No, MetaHuman has different quality outputs now, like optimized versions. The bigger issue with MetaHumans are their hair strands, which is heavy. Yeah, that's kind of what really where the most of the performance hit is. Yeah. Yeah. Like I know they have quality settings, but the hair is still insanely expensive. And unless they have different quality levels for the hair, it's still going to be more expensive than a character with just hair cards. It's cool though. Linux and Mac OS. No one cares. Am I gonna... Here, let's make sure that that gets clipped out of context. Or in context, I guess. And then we can share that, and then all the haters can start watching the videos and hate watching me, and then my views are all gonna go up. Turn any mesh into a metahuman character. Hello. Convert any human character mesh with arbitrary topology into a fully rigged metahuman in a single workflow. This improved mesh to metahuman process conforms both head and body simultaneously, accepting input meshes of any topology and automatically generating results powered by metahuman database. Am I head and body conforming? So hold on. Conforming it to what? Is it conforming your topology to their shape? Because why would I want to do that? Or is it like it's rigging it also, and then it can tweak it after? It's conforming the metahuman to the mesh. So in the end, am I left with a metahuman that is that shape? I mean, I guess if you're making the metahuman the shape that you want, I mean, it's good if you found like a body shape from somewhere else and you want it to be that shape. I mean, it's handy. It's handy for sure. Because then you could do like a shitty sculpt or just a model online and then just have it conform. If you're going to be using metahumans, then I mean, why not? Good option. You can always adjust it from there. Oh, you can do hair card LODs. Okay. Whenever it works for stylized at Goblin? I doubt it for some reason. But you can certainly try. Yeah, I am curious how far you can push this. My guess is you can only do this with human characters as in human proportions characters. You couldn't do this even on a dwarf or like a really tall, slender like elf. I mean, maybe you could, but I don't know how well it would work. Hello and goodbye, face after face. That's cool. Achieve higher fidelity or alternative visual styles with full control of unbaked textures. I'm sorry, what? I would love for you to show this like in action, but so this is just for like modifying. You can see things, I guess, in this view, so you could and then adjust it. Kind of cool. If you do this all capsules, I mean, yeah, you can probably have some fun with it. Yeah. Preview metahuman characters using your lighting setup. That's nice. Again, there's a lot of stuff for metahuman, actually. If you're using metahuman, you're probably going to have a good time. Mutable. I've heard of this. Mutable 5.8 release reaches production readiness with stability, performance, and pipeline improvements. I don't know what Mutable is. I've never used it. I assume it's also for metahuman. Metahuman animator, liveling, face streaming. It's cool. Like, there's some stuff here that I'm interested in learning more about, like the control rig physics one. But most of the stuff here is just, I'm not a rigger. I'm not a metahuman user, so most things here I can't really speak on. Some cool stuff though. No, don't change XYZ up directions. Blender's Z up. Blender Z up. Yeah, let's keep it that way. Again, as long as they don't force you to change it, you can just keep the old setting because you have the projects in that. I don't care. But if they make it like force everyone, that's gonna have a bad time. For easily changing clothing in your game, like for character customization? Okay, but I assume it's also for metahuman. It's cool. World building. Here's a thing that everyone's talking about. Mesh terrain. A next generation mesh-based terrain solution to support large worlds with 3D modeling, layering, virtual texture, generic editor tools. Not specific, they're very generic. Variable tessellation and nanite. This aims at replacing and removing typical constraints of the current height field only landscape solution in Unreal Engine. From what I've heard, and people have been saying, it can do like overhangs and things of that nature, but I'm curious how that works with RVT, like landscape blending. Like, how, if you have an overhang, how does that work? I don't know, but we'll probably have more videos on this and figure out more about it. But I know this has been the talk of the town for a lot of people. It's for whatever character you throw at it. So you have full support. Okay. So you can do any characters. Cool. Cool, cool. Fast geometry streaming. What is this? Fast geometry streaming plugin is now considered beta and includes multiple new improvements for speed, stability. Decal point. What is fast geometry streaming in general? I think it was added in as experimental last time, but I didn't know what it was then, and I still do not know what it is now. I mean, I guess I wasn't really searching. I don't know if anyone's made big YouTube videos on this, but assuming it's performance stuff, I mean, I'm all for performance stuff. It's for streaming faster as a way to decrease stutter. So it's like for like big world partition levels specifically. World partition insights. Debugging tools. Cool. The following improvements were made on world partition hierarchical levels of details. Bash deletion operations to reduce source. Support for standalone H slots. Again, I'll be honest, I've never used world partition. So, because I don't use it at work and I don't use it for my game. So, I'm sure this is cool. I just don't know anything about it. It's amazing. I'll take your word for it. Now, the part that I was very interested in, it's very small. Unfortunately, PCG once again did not get a lot of stuff. But one thing it has received is manual editing. Manual editing, I've been waiting for this ever since it was first added to the roadmap. And I'll be honest, is the one thing I saw, and I've already tried this, and a video's coming Sunday for it. Because it is awesome. I think it needs a little more like tweaking. It definitely still needs a little bit of cleanup and stuff. But so far, awesome. And I'll probably make another one once the full release is out, so we'll explore it even further. Complex attributes. Support for arrays, structure sets, and maps as metadata, attribute, values, and overrides. This is big. Being able to put an array, a struct, and sets and maps, all of this as attributes. Finally. This opens things up so much. Like, at the very least, to be able to send an array of stuff to a blueprint is huge. I'll honestly need to think about where the use case for this will be, but once I probably start playing around with it, it'll be a little more clear. Because in most times, I don't need to store an array of something. I've never needed it. But I know a lot of people have wanted it for XYZ reason. So, we'll see. The question really becomes here is what kind of support is it? Can you make your own arrays inside a PCG or not? Because if you can make your own arrays, that will be huge. Like, you just grab a bunch of stuff and like add to array. We'll have to play around with it. Embedded subgraphs. Support for creating custom subgraphs similarly to blueprint functions stored and edited directly within a PCG graph. I mean, that's cool. I mean, the current subgraphs, I guess, exist outside of the PCG graph. So I guess if you're not planning to use the graph anywhere else, yeah, embed it inside of the main graph, and then you don't need to worry about like migrating a bunch of stuff if you want to move it somewhere else. So it's a really nice feature. It's not like a game-changing feature, but it's nice. Quality of life. Graph parameters editor categorizes, sort, group, and describe PCG parameters in this new parameter editor tool. I would have loved to see it. I'd love to have a picture here of it. It's one of those things we'll probably need to see in editor. And not everything here might be even in the preview. Some stuff here will probably need to wait for full release. But look, being able to edit and reorganize the parameters is possible in 5.7. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So if they've improved that at all, and that's what this means, I'm heck yes. Performance improvements. GPU runtime scatter is now within the same performance range as the landscape GPU grass system has been stress tested on all platforms. Cool. Actor componentless runtime generation. I'm not sure what that means. Editor. CRC and caching improvements when running a graph, reducing potential cache invalidation and increasing efficiency. I don't know what CRC is. Caching freeze point to better control what part of a graph should be re-executed and cache storage. Can you tell it to only redo parts of a graph? So if you could do that, that would be pretty awesome. Better in a static mesh reuse logic when spawning large sets of static meshes. So before, if you use the same mesh, the same settings, but two static mesh spawners, you would get two components. If this means they now get one properly, because it understands that it's the same thing, that'd be nice. Hey Ranger, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Have you heard anything about UC coming out? No. What? No? Well, we're in 5.9. Or 5.8. I really hope they do not release UE 6 anytime soon. We're on 4.27 when UE 5 came out. I'll be honest. I hope they don't just go UE 6 all of a sudden. It'll be way too quick in my opinion. There's too many things that need to be like cleaned up and improved here before that thought even occurs. You don't need an actor or component during runtime for generation. You don't need an actor or component during runtime. Well, you need. I'm not understanding because you need something. What are you spawning if you're not getting actor? Wondering how many versions? I mean, I hope at least 10 more. I would hope. I'll be honest. There's a lot of stuff that just needs a lot of improvements before that thought should even be in their head. No, I read it, but that doesn't mean I understand it. Graph execution and scheduling improvements. I mean, just the improvements. So, look, I'm not going to pretend like I understand any of this. Performance improvements. Yay. PCG UX. As continued UX improvements when working with PCG, these are the latest changes. Just one. Component and graph settings. All options are now available and defined on the graph itself with components having the possibility to override any options per component. This allows, for example, to be set partitioned by default on a graph directly instead of having to set it on every component that the graph is used in. What? What things have been component level? If I set HiGen on and partitioning on, that's on the entire graph. I don't ever need to do anything on a component if I don't want to. I'm not fully understanding this one. But I'll need to look at what settings are now there, I guess. But their example of the partitioning thing, that's just, you set it on the right and that's it. You set in the graph settings and you're done. So I'm not sure. PCG nodes and operations. Introduce multiple native PCG elements and new options, including scene capture. Scene capture node now supports input transforms, allowing captures to be taken from any direction and adding extra flexibility for GPU sampling. Thank you. You guys remember my shadow, my tutorial on how to do shadow sampling, which I thought was really cool? Because you can sample like the lights and shadows of an environment, but you can never turn it sideways and sampling it that way. Now we can. Hallelujah. That was like one of the first things I tried, and I was very sad you couldn't do it. Well, I like this one. Also, what does this say? Multiple things, and it just shows one. They don't even want to put the documentation of what's new here. It's like, no, we'll just give you one. We say multiple, but trust, there's multiple, definitely. We won't tell you what they are. Go find them. Good luck. But there's one. Biggest update is them doing documentation of any level, which will never happen. When I say documentation, I know there's some documentation, right? It does exist. It's just not deep enough in any way for almost anyone. For like 99% of stuff. And there's definitely like no node based. Like if I want to look up a node, good luck. Procedural vegetation editor. Experimental plugin to create and edit vegetation meshes, supporting nanite foliage directly within Unreal. 5.8 introduces some core new functionality that greatly expand the capabilities, allowing growth directly in the editor without the need for importer recipes, along with numerous other improvements. So we can finally actually set up our own like custom trees directly in editor, because that was the big one. There's a growth node. Seed generation, good. Because the main problem with the 5.7 one is it was cool, but you couldn't make your own trees. In which case, like, yeah, you had to start with the basic ones, and you only basically modify the base ones that there was available. So if you can finally make your own, that's gonna be big. That's gonna be big. You want the job of the documentation writer the man hasn't made? There is no job. The reason there's no documentation is because there's no job for it. That's why there's no documentation. So that's all we have for PCG. The only like things that really I care about here is the manual editing. That is big. I've been waiting for this for a long time. And other than that, the scene capture one is cool, but it's very niche. I mean, honestly, that's it. I mean, this is cool, but I almost considered the procedural vegetation editor to not be right PCG. It's not this stuff. It's its own separate thing. Yes, it's procedural, but it's not, you know, the PCG workflow. So in terms of the PCG workflow, it's really just manual editing. The array stuff again is cool, but yeah, this stuff is cool. But in terms of me being excited for something, like manual editing. The Worst Studio. What a name. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. What is the biggest news on the roadmap? I mean, depends on what stuff you're interested in. For me, manual editing. It depends on what your priorities are. If you ever read Unreal Source or do in the future, search for Kevin. I mean, I'm in the Unreal Source Discord, but I don't know a Kevin. I don't know what you're referring to. There's a bunch of animation stuff. Mostly metahuman, rigging. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I'm not an expert in any of it, so I can't speak on most of it. Okay, moving on to framework. Ooh, State Tree finally has an update. State Tree starting states and compiler extensions. Gets flexibility boosted 5.8. Authoring workflows are implemented. Trees can define their starting state. Also, they doesn't necessarily start in the root anymore. A new compiler manager helps streamline iteration, and the editor now tracks when trees are out of date, so it's clearer when a recompile is needed. Thank you. Because for some reason, the compile thing just... For some reason, if you open it, it'll just be say, yeah, you need to recompile it. So if this improves it, I'm hell yeah. Property binding is more robust and now allows binding to be easily reversed, making it straightforward to move data from one completed task to another. Property binding isn't more robust and allows binding to be easily reversed at runtime? Can you bind and unbind things in the game? Because you can already do that obviously in editor. So I'm not sure what it's referring to. We'll need to see. I use State Tree, so I'm all for State Tree updates. Linked assets in State Tree. So it allows you to change the linked asset in the State Tree. Is that what this is? I wish it would just say that. I wish it would just say, specify like linked assets. Because that's what it's called in Unreal. Somewhere. It is what it is. Hey Neo Dragus, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, looking at the 5.8 updates. Mass framework, faster, modular, and built for scale. It's fantastic. Can you tell it where it becomes fully blueprint accessible? Yeah, I don't see where that becomes fully blueprint accessible. Yeah. Beyond me. Moving on. Navigation. Ooh! Per mesh control over walkable surfaces. Hello. Now this is interesting. Static meshes can now define their own walkable areas during nav mesh generation, giving designers more control over how AI navigates the world. You can assign per mesh area costs to static geometry, for example, making a crouch so AI prefers to walk around it instead of over it. Oh, making a couch, not a crouch. Making a couch. This enabled per mesh through a flag and area class setting on nav collision, with support carried through the full recast generation pipeline. This is really cool. This is cool. I like that. Because that just makes it so much easier. Because you can do custom nav modifiers, right? You can do nav modifier volumes, but this is just per mesh. So it just makes that part a little bit easier. So hell yeah. The old Unreal issue, only they used plain English rather than obfuscating obscure functions in obtuse manners. Yeah. Yep. Iris, production-ready replication system. I mean, look, I'm not doing multiplayer for a reason. And that's because replication just doesn't click with me yet. or last time I tried to look into it, it didn't click with me. So I'll look into this next game, maybe if I do a multiplayer game. But at the current moment, I'm doing single player. So not for me. To be fair, I also do not play multiplayer games. So for me, right, it makes sense that I'm making a single player game as a single player. So if you're doing multiplayer, let me know if this is amazing or not. To be fair, it says production ready, so it means it's been around. So I don't know how good it's been. So assuming it's been good, being production ready is probably good. Improved physics, animation, and networking. Again, more multiplayer stuff. So really cool. I wish I used any of this. I literally used none of this. I can't even say I use animation because my characters are sprites. So I literally don't use a single one of these in my game, including animation. Movie was pretty cool. Good. We received a broad update across core movement, networking, animation, and chaos movement. And it's cool. Hey, look, updates is good. No complaints. Unified input system, common UI, and enhanced input. Oh, what is this? Input workflows are streamlined 5.8 with the unification of enhanced input and common input/UI. This simplifies cross-platform input handling, removes the need for duplicate data assets, and makes debugging more straightforward. The update also includes a range of improvements across input handling, including more reliable event processing, better widget binding behavior, expanded virtual key support, and fixes for trigger edge cases. If this means that I can use regular inputs easily inside of widgets now, that could be nice. We'll see. Because before it was a pain in the butt, and I still use the old school method of doing on key down, on mouse button down. I still prefer that right now because the alternative is just I don't like it. So if that improves this, or if that changes that workflow, that'd be great. New tooling such as the input debugger for enhanced input UI and added extensibility makes it easier to build and troubleshoot input-driven experiences. I would hope everything is input-driven, otherwise it's not really, it's just a video. I would hope everything is input-driven. I would hope. Otherwise, why are we using Unreal to make a movie? Cool. Some good stuff here in the framework section. I didn't expect to find anything that was like super useful, but state tree, yay. But possibly unify input, yay. Navigation here, yeah, cool. Developer iteration. Incremental cooking beta. Incremental cooking continues as beta feature for E5.8. Improvements to determinism further reduces the need to recook unmodified asset, notably with DDC and structured data variations. Is this on by default? Or is this something I need to enable? Because I don't know if I'm using it. I feel like my cooking times have been faster, but it is on by default. Okay, so this is just more improvements for cooking time. Yeah, because I was like thinking, usually when in 5.7 recently, right, it's been like, if I don't need to rebuild the entire thing, if I just made a small change, it's really quick. So this is great. Hey, incremental cooking has been great. Continue improvements on it. I'm all for this. Hell yes. Super glad. Horde performance reporting. See, even Unreal Engine, I mean, even Epic is like for the Horde. No one plays Alliance. I don't actually have no idea what this is. I've never seen this. I've genuinely never seen this. I have no idea what this is, so I'm not even gonna pretend. I mean, I guess because this is improvements to Horde Analytics. So Horde Analytics have been existing. So this is like updates to it. But I don't know what this is. Automated performance tests framework and performance report tool. Highlighting key metrics such as GPU and CPU times, peak memory usage. I mean, look, more performance optimization checks is good, right? No matter what. You hope this doesn't flop your benchmarking plugin? You have a benchmarking plugin? Audio. I always say I'm partially tone deaf, so audio for me is... I'm not the best at it. Audio insights, production ready. I don't even know what channel agnostic types are. Audio subtitles. Wait, what is this? Audio subtitles are required for accessibility. Dialogue systems. In Unreal Engine 5.8, we're further improving the subtitle plugin and making it beta. Oh, okay, so it already exists. So you can already make subtitles. Okay, cool. Waveform editor beta. Cool. I think it was introduced in 5.7. So they are adding more improvements to it. Cool. Bulk meta sounds, preset editor, and sequencer controls. I mean, cool. It seems like good stuff. The only one that probably would be useful for me is this one. But as not an audio guy, it's only so much I can. Platforms. So many. Look, there's more stuff for platforms than there is for PCG. Give me my PCG features. Damn it. Bubble Runner, Android platform support, preview platform. Wait, what is this? Improve the visual fidelity of the preview platform features so visuals displayed in the editor more closely match the look and behavior of the target hardware. Enables teams to catch visual issues. Wait. How do I use a preview platform? Can I preview worse hardware? Hold on a second. Hold on. Can I preview worse hardware? Because if I can preview worse hardware, this is going to be huge. The question is, how does it know? I'd be curious how it actually does it, but if I can preview worse hardware, preview SM5 and so mobile. Oh, I thought it meant like I can preview like an i3 processor from 10 years ago. Oh, shader oh. I'm less excited about shader model changes. I thought this was I'm able to change like the hardware. If I can change the hardware, this is awesome. If I can't change the hardware, then it's good. Just not as exciting. Keyboard and mouse support for iOS and iPadOS. Cool. Gesture events. Lots of iOS. Unreal Engine Remote. What is this? Enables developers to preview and test mobile. Okay, mobile stuff. I mean, cool. Steam frame support. Serial layers. Lots of iOS. I guess I see lots of. There's 2, 3. I mean, cool. More platform support. All for it. I'm curious about this preview platform thing. I feel like I saw it before. And if I can change the hardware preview, then cool. If I can make it like an old computer and it can simulate that and approximate that, that'd be great. We'll see. Content pipeline. UI rework. Interchangeable import dialogue UI. They are changing it again? Didn't they just change it for FBX? And I guess they're making it like this for everything now? Goal of the upcoming releases is to simplify the UI. 5.8 will allow creation and selection of simple import presets from the UI. Oh, okay. If you can make presets, that'd be nice. Usually, like, remembers the last thing you did. If you have presets, like you have for different setups, that would be nice. Yeah, visually, this has been here already in 5.7. FBX import performance. Hey, better improvements on that is good. While GLTF and USD usage just intensifies, FBX remains the main data format to import 3D models on Unreal Engine. This is why an alternative library was introduced to improve user experience with this format. Cool. 5.8 support for the UFBX library is production ready. What is the UFBX library? I mean, look, improvements for importing FBXs. Hell yeah. Yeah, FBXs are still the main thing, that I use. USD assets. Again, I don't really use USD assets. So, cool. I'm glad they're having more support. X-Write AXF materials as substrate. Support for importing measured materials like X-Write's AXF format into Unreal Engine using the substrate material system. I've never heard of this, but I'm sure whoever's using it is excited as hell. I've never heard of X-Write or AXF, but I'm sure whoever's using it is pumping their fists. See the editor gizmo system? Yeah, we have editor stuff next. But ads are about to play. So we'll actually go through these after the ads. It says ads starting soon with no countdown, so I imagine it should be starting any second now, and we'll continue here afterwards. Hopefully all issues are fixed with the interchange framework. Currently custom presets are broken beyond repair in EU 5.7. What is the interchange framework? What's that? So it says ads starting soon. It's not playing ads. God damn it. Oh, there it goes. Also, if you're on YouTube, you're also immune. So, you can always come to YouTube if you want to be immune to ads.
Mid-rolls engaged. Stream frozen before I turn this clean graph into a disaster.
Is that import dialog? You can add your own settings for the import dialog. Oh, okay. I'm so bad with names for things that I don't use, they'll look at. Even when I use things, I might not even know the name. That's always been the case with me. Like, even like back in college, when I first started listening to music, I'd know the songs. Like, I've heard the songs, and then I would not know who it's by or what the name of the song is. And I never remembered the lyrics either. So there's very few cases where I remembered one of the two. But usually I never remembered either one. Curious about the editor Gizmo system. I hope it brings me you good stuff. Gizmo can really use it. Well, we'll find out. Shortly, we will find out. There's some here that are looking interesting, like the orthographic improvements, previous C improvements, material preview editor improvements. There's a few things here that could be good. Gotta wait for the ads. Also, I'll be making an edited version for this, probably in a couple of days, to post on YouTube. So if you missed anything, I'll post it there. I'm going to try to release it for Thursday. I get it all taken care of tomorrow. I did notice a visual change when I opened 5.8 preview. So we'll see what else besides just the visual change is different. Ads are almost done. Okay. So, a few exciting things here. Editor Gizmo system. Ooh, lots of, oh, jeez. Okay. New editor gizmo system designed to deliver a more consistent and flexible interaction experience across the editor. Built on top of the interactive tools framework, the new system consolidates multiple legacy gizmo implementations into a single framework used across viewports and tools. This unification improves reliability. Great. Also includes a range of visual and usability improvements inspired by workflows familiar to artists and level designers from tools like Maya and Blender. Improved hit targets, clearer visual feedback, customizable interaction presets, and enhanced precision controls. New system provides a faster and more predictable workflow for manipulating actors and assets. I mean, cool. I don't know what that line is. Let's see what it says. Visual stuff. I mean, you could see it. Once you're in it, you'll be able to see all the visual stuff. I'm not going to worry about that. Real-time overlay displays movement, rotation, or scale deltas during interactions. We already have that. Delta line indicators. Is that this line that, as it moves, is visible? Visual line indicate how far an object has been translated from its original position. Rotation interaction display a visual delta line similar to Blender, improving precision when rotating from greater distances. Ah, so that's what that line is. Blender has a line? I guess I don't use Blender enough to have noticed the line ever, I'll be honest. But I mean, cool. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with any of this. Snapping state indicator now visually indicates when snapping is enabled. I mean, by default, you usually always have it enabled to a degree. Unless it's talking about snapping to, like, objects and not, like, grid. Because you always have, like, an incremental grid usually turned on. Toggle position, rotation, scale, or surface snapping while holding a modifier key. That's nice. I usually don't need to change position toggle, but rotation occasionally. Same thing with scale. Surface snapping on a modifier key is good. I'm hopeful that it's showing snapping of that here. Because if it's just one of them, or any of them will have it, then it's always going to display pretty much. And that would be like, I don't want more clutter, so. Continue manipulating actors even when the cursor moves outside the viewport bounds. Doesn't it just wrap, typically? Like, if you keep dragging left, doesn't it wrap? Like, it'll continue doing it, no? I mean, cool. Looks like you working on traffic system? Yeah, I made a traffic system. It was for the city gen. Have you released any assets like BCG Blueprint System? What do you mean by released any assets? All my stuff is available for free if you just watch and follow the tutorials, or on my Patreon if you want the project files for the tutorials. I'm not sure what you mean by released assets. Customization and workflow presets. interaction presets. Choose from multiple interaction styles: default Unreal Engine interaction, classic Unreal interaction, my style interaction. What is the difference between default and classic? I guess default now is this one and classic is the one it was before, is my guess. In my opinion, whenever there's a interaction style of a software that isn't that software, don't use it. Like Blender has a Maya option, or it's basically a Maya option. Don't use those because you can't follow tutorials. It'll make things more difficult. Yes, it'll be more intuitive, like for you to use some stuff, but you won't be able to easily actually like learn the software for. Like once you start needing like watch tutorials, they'll like press this hotkey. Hotkey's different. Do this button click. Button click's different. So it's good that it's there, but my recommendation is always to just learn the program that you're using. Tutorials are typically not going all the way to production ready quality. My honest opinion. Oh yeah, my stuff is not production ready. Yeah. I don't have time to be production ready. I have a full-time job. There's no way in hell I can ever make anything production ready. Precision controls. Precision mode. Temporarily slow down transformations for fine adjustments. And nudge mode. Incrementally adjust translation, rotation, or scale for controlled edits. I mean, that's cool, but in a sense, there's already a nudge mode in terms of set the grid snapping to a certain value and then snap, snap, snap. If there's more incremental, if it's more incremental than that, you can specify like certain distances. I mean, this is good. I'm all for this. It'll make certain things a lot easier. Yeah, I think overall, good changes. I see no problems here. It'll probably get take a little bit getting used to probably, because it's a little visually different. But I don't see any like major issues here. Yeah, cool. Preview scene improvements. What do we have here? Expands the previous scene system with new customization and workflow improvements for asset editors. These updates give users great control over how assets are presented during preview, making it easier to evaluate materials, meshes, and lighting conditions directly within the editor. So it still has all the info here. It's still the same. Oh, there's preview settings. Okay. So you can change the HDR, the lighting, change the preview mesh. Okay, that's just a nice, convenient, like little tab here that you can just change your stuff on. That's great. Yeah, you can change the floor mesh and the floor texture. That's what this is. Yeah, preview floor mesh. I can see it. It says that. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, this is awesome. Layout improvements. Yeah. Sweet. Are you making some building generator videos? Yeah, that was back in 5.4. Think we might eventually made it quite a feature-rich system? No, I will never. No, I would never. That's not something I do. I don't have the time or the desire to. Have you seen an estimated release date for the new version? In a month. It's coming in June. Yeah, early June is in a month, my good sir. It's in a month. I think you're fine with that release date. Yeah, it's releasing during Unreal Fest. Yeah, that is the release date. I just don't know the exact date of that. As far as what I've heard, at least, is it's releasing then. Yeah. It's releasing in a month. Material preview editor improvements. Introduces several improvements to the material preview editor to support faster look development and more flexible preview workflows. Updates make it easier to validate materials using familiar preview meshes and quickly test assets directly within the preview environment. You can already do custom assets though, but I guess just like the other one, there's now more customization of how this looks. I see the preview settings are there too. Shader ball preview mesh is now available as a native option. That's cool. I mean, it is better than the sphere, right? I wish I had like a flat area. If this had like also like a flat base as an option, like so you could see the flat and the sphere and all of versions basically in one, effectively, that'd be cool. But drag and drop asset support, cool. Material slot and custom mesh. The material can now be applied to specific slots when a custom preview mesh has been selected. Interesting. So you can apply it as you're previewing it. I mean, that's cool. If that works how I'm thinking it might be working, that's hell yeah. Streamline things. Really feels like no one is making PCG blueprint systems that are any good that you can just buy and use. I mean, yeah, because why would they? They're so easily replicatable that people just rip it off and just post. People already started ripping off of my building series ones and putting them on the old marketplace. You also work a full-time job. You'd love to be able to pick up a PCG system so you can just get things done rather than feeling like you need to make all the graphs. I mean, it depends on what you're doing. And the thing is, there's like 1,001 ways to do things. If I made a building system, that doesn't mean that it's a good building system for everyone. It'll be a good building system for like a few people. And that's just not worth it for anyone. Right? You shouldn't just grab a system because it's there. Grab it. You should grab it if it's also like specifically what you want, which it will never be. PCG is so customizable that everyone was gonna want something a little bit different, and you're gonna want to change it. And you're gonna, so at least I won't be making any. I don't have the time or the manpower. Shortcut manager. Oh, I did see this. There's now where you go to edit project settings, editor preferences. There's now a keyboard shortcuts now, which now I guess you could just go directly to modify your shortcuts in a convenient location. I mean, that's good. Hey, easy accessibility to the shortcuts is good. It motivates people to actually use them. Because I'll be honest, I've never modified a single shortcut in Unreal. But certain things I don't know if are rebindable, and it being just so easily accessible, maybe I will. At work, you find you develop BCG systems incrementally as it gets used more and more, kind of a natural. Yeah, exactly. So, like, how do you decide when it's fab ready or production ready? You made what you need at the time. Like, I made what I needed at the time, and to me, that was good enough. But that's not production ready. Well, how do you determine production ready? I don't know what. I'm not in a production. I don't know what they need, right? So it's all very subjective. So for me, like, yeah, no manpower, no time. You have that with Forest BCG systems. Every time you buy one, it feels like it's never what you want and edit them so much they should have just built one from scratch. Yeah, they're Forest one especially. There's no reason to buy any. Just watch like 1,001 tutorials I've made. You can make one yourself. That's gonna be exactly what you want and need. Editor preferences improvements. Introduces updates to the editor preference system to improve consistency, discoverability, and ease of use. Editor preferences, project settings, and plugin settings now share a more unified visual style and layout, making configuration across editor easier to navigate. I mean, cool. I mean, a little bit, yeah, a little neater now. I mean, I didn't mind it before. I didn't even realize they had a different style. But sure, why not? If they're gonna clean it up, I'm sure. Why not? Orthographic viewport improvements. Oh, is the clipping weird clipping thing where you have to move the other cameras fixed? Introduces several improvements to orthographic viewports aimed at improving clarity and usability when working in top, side, and front views. These updates reduce visual noise and ensure important editing tools remain clearly visible during interaction. Improved lit view rendering and reduced grid density. Gizmos render on top. No, it probably does not fix the weird issue where the side camera changes what you see on the top view, which for me and many does not make sense. The top view should have its own like depth thing. It should have no effect on the side view. We'll see if it changes that after this. Content browser right-click menu. Oh yeah, they've changed PCG. It's no longer PCG. It's called Procedural. And they don't have it here. Also, they're putting way too much stuff up here. They're adding more and more things here, I feel like. 5A includes a simplification of the content browser right-click menu aimed at reducing friction in the asset creation workflow. Focus on reducing menu height, organizing asset types more logically, and making commonly used asset easier to find, resulting in cleaner and more streamlined right-click menu experience. I mean, I guess. BCG is now under procedural instead of just BCG. I noticed that when I was testing it. Fewer top-level categories. I mean, look, it'll take some time getting used to, right? Sure, once you're used to it, it'll be fine. But worst case scenario, there's a search. And you'll find out where it's been moved to, whatever the thing is that you've been using for a while. Have a good one, Worst. Thanks, stand by. Detail panel favorites. Expands the detail panel favorite system to make navigating and tracking important properties faster and easier. These updates help users quickly locate commonly used settings and identify modified properties within complex actors. Yeah, there's already been favorites. So what's the difference? Favorite full categories now. Ah, okay. So you can... Favoriting full categories is good. Do you know what this is going to be great for? In blueprints, when you have functions exposed, and sometimes even for just, yeah, primarily functions exposed, it'll sometimes put them like way down below. Like below like your normal variable stuff. It'll be like below your rendering and your... all the nonsense. And when you have those buried down below, making them just force up as the full category is going to be nice. That's going to be nice for some things. I wish that wasn't a problem to begin with, but at least they're giving a easier way of organizing it. Category section filter bar. Section bar can now optionally filter the detail panel to favorite categories or modified properties. Oh, so you no longer need to hit the cogwheel to see only modified. I don't remember if they used to do that for favorites as well. The favorites was just always on top, wasn't it? So this is not. There's no point of this one. I feel like favorites is always on top, but being able to just click modifying is nice. I like that. Cool. Good improvements. MCP server. Minecraft private server brings a new experimental MCP model context protocol plugin for the Unreal Editor. This plugin enables agentic AI systems to connect to the Unreal Editor. This allows these systems to understand the engine and the project, as well as helping users build assets or systems. Okay, so we're basically going to get a bunch of integrated AI systems, which, one, could be nice, but two, look, to this day, I have not seen an AI thing that's been showed off that is anything beyond a gimmick. Still, I have not seen a single AS. They always show the most basic stuff that I can do in 5 minutes. Instead of showing me, hey, create a custom combat system, right? It can't. No one has been able to do a single demonstration of anything advanced. And if it's not advanced, if it's just beginner crap, I'm sorry, there's 1,001 YouTube tutorials for it. People should just learn it. It'll be better for them, and they can do it really quick and then actually troubleshoot it. So, and the other problem with this, by the way, is my main concern of allowing AI, outside AI tools to be integrated and read your project is most people don't have local AI. I don't want my project, at least personally, syncing any of the information from my project directly to their servers as data that they're now gathering. If I choose to ask a question of an AI about how to do something, I'm not necessarily giving it this is how everything works. I can give it a general idea, I'm doing things this way, right? I can get an idea and then it can answer my question. But it's not gonna know, oh, this is how your nodes are connected. This is where things are. This is how you're organizing it. Personally, I would never want to use this to be integrated to that degree unless the AI is local. If the AI is local, fantastic. I don't care. So that's my main concern. I feel like there's going to be a lot of them that are not going to be local. And I would never connect Grok to it. Sandboxes. Sandboxes provide an isolated workspace where you can experiment without affecting the main project. Open a sandbox, create it, and edit freely, and persist only what you want to keep. You no longer need to spin up a side branch, copy assets to a work in progress folder, or worry about polluting your revision control just because you want to try something out. That's kind of cool. I mean, nothing's stopping you from making copies and deleting it, but not needing to do that is nice. This is great. Create a sandbox and work inside it without affecting project content. Browse, switch, and see changes in sandboxes from a dedicated browser. Browser? I assume an editor, not a literal Chrome browser. Export a sandbox to share with a teammate. Maybe they do mean browser. Or I wish there was a visual for this one. We need to know what this is more. Unity is so ahead on the AI game and still sucks at making games. Games are hard to make. I mean, games in general, I feel saying games in general are hard to make is not super true. games are the easiest. This is the easiest time ever to make games. If you want to make a simple box where you click a box and it jumps up, right? And it's just a counter. There's a game called Clock or something where you literally just press space and it jumps. And if you hit it, your counter goes down. Or it just literally counts up per second. It's the simplest thing ever. That's a game. It's not hard to make that. It depends what kind of game you want to make, though. So, games... certain games are harder to make, depending on your skill. AI is only as smart as the person using it. I mean, okay, AI is something smarter than the person using it. Let's be honest, there's a lot of stupid people out there. Myself included. But AI will never be as good as the smartest people. Because it just does an average. There's a game about being a rock, that's it, just a rock. I mean, yeah. I'm sure it'll be very simple to make. So, certain games are harder to make, absolutely. Want to make an MMO? Yeah, that's gonna be hard. That'll be hard. You want to make Pong? Oh, probably a lot easier. You want to make Flappy Bird? A lot easier, right? Now, making fun and good games is hard to make. I'll give you that one. Because making a successful game is hard. Making just a game is easier. Because you get a lot of slop out there. Grok, make my game fun. I'll tell you a way of making any game fun, okay? This is a surefire way of making absolutely any game fun. 100% guaranteed. If every time you do anything in the game, it gives the player money, I will tell you now, you'll have so many players. Guaranteed, people are going to be having a blast playing your game. 100% guaranteed. You're welcome. Cat girls would have helped too, but I mean, some of those is hit and miss. Sounds like slot machines? No. Slot machines, you take their money, usually. The house usually wins. No. This one, you just give people money. You don't take any money. You just give people money. I'm telling you, the amount of players that'll be playing your games will be record-breaking. Procedural rendering pipeline. Movie render graphics production ready. Nice. This is so much nicer than the movie render queue. My goodness. At least for me, as someone that's better with nodes, this made more sense to me. There's still some stuff that I don't like, but at least this made more sense to me. Light modifier. With an eye towards post-compositing workflows, the light modifier enables artists to set and override property values for light actors on per render layer basis in movie render graph. Oh, that is cool. I have no use for this, but this is really cool. A new light actor type condition on the collection node makes grouping lights for per render layer modification easy and convenient. I don't know what the use case of this is. I guess if you want to like preview like different lighting conditions, like see what kind of works. But I feel like you can do a lot of that just as a quick color, like levels, color adjustment, just for a quick preview versus rendering. I don't know, but again, I don't do multi-layered stuff, so there has to be a reason why you would want to render this in multiple colors. Either way, it's cool to have this support for this. Hear me out. The game is free. The game rewards money when the player wins. The win condition is watching a video. The video is an advertisement. Then no one would watch that. They would just turn it on and just walk away and just have it on a computer in a room where, or just like, basically have the laptop nearly closed, no audio, like. Exactly, both get paid. You're not gonna get any advertisers for that. You can certainly try, but you can certainly try. Accumulation depth of field. Real-time performance considerations for depth of field rendering can limit visual quality on shots to emphasize it in their design. In order to achieve more filmic depth of field, artists must move to the path tracer, which has a higher cost in rendering time. Do so for all shots. For consistency, even the ones that don't rely on depth of field. There should be an option to have the best of both worlds in terms of performance and quality. Accumulation depth of field is a new feature that renders depth of field by accumulating deferred renders from multiple aperture viewpoints via movie render graph. See, I was like almost excited to try this out, and then it says it's specifically for movie render graph. It's cool. It's cool. I mean, I guess it's I'm in the rendering pipeline section, so I guess what am I, of course. But still, would have liked it as another depth of field option in the actual game, like engine. Turbo / premium counts a user as an ad viewer. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that, and we don't know, by the way, whether Twitch tells the ad providers that they got a view or not. Because if they don't, then they're doing the right thing. But if they do, then they're scamming advertisers. And when the advertiser would find that out, oh boy, lawsuits at the very least, right? So, yeah. And display rendering in graph. I didn't know so I know end display only from virtual production. I didn't know there was like a rendering specifically for it. I mean, cool. UQ window basic config. I don't do enough rendering, thank God, for needing a queue system, but oh, this is just no, this new queue window. Yeah, I don't. Let me render queue. I mean, look, improvements, visuals here. I'm glad because I really hate the entire system. So any improvements at all, I'm happy with. There's a good Devin Nash video on the topic if you're ever interested. Oh, I've watched all his stuff. I've watched it. I'm a thorough enjoyer of Devin Nash. That's how I know that fact. Virtual production. It's funny. I worked in virtual production. I don't do any of this stuff because this is for people who work on the stage in virtual production. So I make the environments for virtual production, but I don't actually do any of the virtual production stuff. So I know nothing about any of this at all. But I'm sure for people on the stage, this stuff is going to be absolutely awesome. I'm going to move along though. Can I just say I'm tired of talking? God damn. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We're almost at the end. We're almost at the end. Tile to MIP map video. Wait, what? With the addition of tiles and MIP support to EXR playback, made it possible to achieve high resolution playback on complex display setups. In 5.8, to provide a more balanced playback experience to our users, we're adding TMV, a video container for tiles and MIPs with compression. This will address the extreme file size overhead of EXRs and bandwidth requirements for high performance video playback. Interesting. This targets in-camera VFX, live events, and anyone requiring solid video format for game engines. I know some people that are going to be quite excited about this. It's nothing. It's for in-camera VFX. It's for virtual production. It's for, as I say, live events, right? So nothing we can use for just regular like game dev, but this is cool. Because I mean, I'm not planning to put any EXRs in the game. EXRs are extremely large usually, and not needed for this. Also, hold on a second. What do you mean posted on October 2024? I just noticed that. What do you mean this is posted on October 24? So this was added somewhere on future roadmap in October 2024 is what it's saying, and now it's and they probably modified it then, and now it's finally released. I bet that's what it means. When was the one I was waiting for? Yeah, I've been waiting on this one since September of 2023. The first time I saw this, I was excited about it. I've waited for this for over 2.5 years for them to add manual editing to the PCG. I waited for 2.5 years. It's finally here. I'm assuming that's what this means. And moving along, video transcoder. Look, video stuff I don't know much about. This is interesting. I think this was introduced in 5.7, but now it's going into beta. It's being able to overlay stuff. It's really cool. I have not found the use case for me for this. But if you're doing the cinematics and you have like a, what's the board called? Yeah, you just put it over it and you kind of like trace your poses to match it. Really cool. Storyboard? It's called storyboard. I've been reading too much. My brain is already shutting down. Simulation and VFX, the last section. This one looked cool, just visually. Chaos modular vehicles. So I don't know how this works, just straight up in general. But like, I don't know how you have logic here. Like, I understand everything that's happening. It loses the wing, it loses flight, right? It's a modular vehicle. So, but I don't know at all how any of this works. Support for construction of vehicles via skeletal mesh, allowing users to easily create simple vehicles with the same framework and add two-way interaction between the vehicle and the ground. Again, really cool. I would love tutorials for this. And I wonder if you can just use this for non-vehicle stuff. Can you do this for characters? Can you have a character with, and then also like remove an arm or a leg? Is it possible? I'd want to know. Someone make a tutorial on that, please. Chaos Destruction improvements. I still, to this day, don't fully know how to use Chaos Destruction properly. Because every time I've tried to use it, I could not get it to look realistic in any form. And the fact that you have to, like, the way you have to set it up has been always a pain in the butt from what I've seen. So if they've improved that at all, I'd be thrilled. There's a new editor for it. New assets will show an icon in the thumbnails indicating that they have a data flow attached. Fix potential crash. I mean, that's good. Fix velocities. Lots of fixes. Add render settings for geometry collection. I mean, again, I'm not an expert in this. I think it's really cool. I love the system. I've never been able to do it myself properly. So, like, not in a way that ever looks good or makes sense physically. So, like, but to be fair, like, all of this doesn't look realistic in any sense either, right? So, yeah. There's something in Fab to remove body parts, and it's pretty easy, but it doesn't work with multiple skeletal meshes, like when you have a cape or something. Yeah, I'm not surprised there's something for it, though. Chaos. There's a bunch of chaos stuff. You know, I'm not a chaos user. Chaos flashlight. This always looks cool whenever I see it in preview, but I know nothing of it. Chaos cloth. It's cool. I've never looked into any of this stuff, mostly because I've needed any of the stuff for my game. And two, I've never wanted to do like full on like 3D cloth physics myself. So I've never really looked further into this stuff. But this is cool. This caught my attention right away. The rest of the stuff is like, yeah, I'm glad there's improvements to the stuff. I'm sure people who are using it will be quite happy. For me, though, I don't know much about it. And that's kind of all of it. I mean, the final thoughts really for this is I'm kind of sad there's not much for PCG again. Yeah, the big one for me is the manual editing. And the arrays, I guess, is nice. But yeah, this is the big new one. I'm just thinking it from the point of view of like making like what there is to make tutorials for. Like from that point of view. And from that point of view, there's this. That's it. So it's gonna be a rough wait for 5 till 5.9 to figure out what the hell to make tutorials for. But that's a me problem. So I'll deal with it. Learn the chaos stuff. Use chaos destruction for like boxes, etc. But the funny thing is, every time you press undo shortcut, it crashes the editor. Oof. Work in the previous version. Well, hopefully it's fixed again in the 5.8. The thing that's most interesting to me, I think really thinking about it right now, is there anything here that I even care about in terms of my game upgrading to 5.8? I'm not using Lumen or Megalites. This is kind of cool, but it's not a huge thing. Like, to be fair, I will upgrade my game to 5.8 because I'm continuing to upgrade it because why not? Once the plugins get all updated, of course. But really, there's really nothing here that's like for my game that is like, oh yeah, I can't wait for X thing. This is not like, this is cool, but it's I don't really care about it. Same thing with this. Yeah, I'll do it, but yeah. It was just because Lumen, if it's more than scalability and AI settings. Without Lumen, there's probably nothing. Yeah, there's still some stuff, but definitely nothing like huge. You always update just to get the bug fixes. Yeah, you also get new bugs as well, typically. Some things will be fixed, some things will be broken again. I might take a little bit longer to update on this one. I might wait for the first, like, 5.8.1 on this one compared to where I usually do, which is just wait for the plugins to update. Because there's no rush. Because 5.7, I feel like had more. Yeah, the editor mode. BCG editor mode was a pretty big thing. And then Polygon 2D was pretty cool. Although I've not used it a single time after. So like there's I felt like a little more. But you always wait for the 0.1 or 0.2 version. Yeah, probably a good idea. But yeah, this will be released in a month. Like the full version will be released in a month. I never understood, I'll be honest, I never understood the preview. I never understood the preview versions in general. Because they're only a month before the full launch. That's not enough time for make any meaningful changes. Like if something is like majorly broken, that's not a lot of time. And from my understanding, they're usually already moving on to working on the next one at this point. So I don't know what the like what that month gives them. Like I understand if they were like, 3-4 months, from preview to release. But it's the internal pipeline they do for Insider Studios. They just replicate it to the public. Yeah, hey, maybe. Still doesn't make sense to me, but doesn't matter. 5.8, almost out. Also, make sure Insider Studios get it for longer and for months. We get it for a month. I mean, certain things just have never made sense. Aside from that, like if you're saying that, like maybe that is accurate, but like certain things, like the foliage thing with the voxel cards, right? The one that's in the new Witcher game. Why did that, like, right? That came in as experimental. But why is it experimental? It is clearly production ready because it's being used in production successfully. So I never understood like a lot of stuff like that. Why is it experimental for the general public, but it's production ready there? I don't know. But either way, it's not really important. Not really important. Each game is designed for Witcher, but experimental for those other productions. Yeah, probably. They're still changing it frequently. Yeah. Most likely. Most likely. My throat hurts. I've been talking. Usually I don't talk this much. Too much talking and reading. See, guys, reading is bad for you. Don't let anyone tell you to read. 2 hours stream just for you. I mean, seriously. It basically was. I don't know why it took nearly 2 hours. I feel like there's not much here. But whatever. It is what it is. Like, I mean, okay, I had to scroll for a little bit. 7. Okay, there's more than in 5.7 overall, I think. Need more notes. A lot of notes and reading. Yeah. Well, also discuss stuff along the way. True. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to edit it for Thursday. I'll try. I'm gonna try. But best of luck. I'll need it. I'm definitely gonna need it. Question now is, do I even feel like doing animation now in the game? Here, I can show you guys. I can give you a little preview of the new 5.8 feature. I'll make a tutorial for Sunday. The moving of the objects. Sounds like a good send-off, yeah. So, all right, so we have... You. There it goes. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't generating. Right, so we have this, right? Random thing. So now you get this if you want to enable it. And now I can just click here and then I can be like, I want to not have that tree there. I want it here and I want it actually sideways and I want it to be bigger. And now it's there. And if you do clean up and generate, it's still there. So, and if you move it a little bit and you can regenerate the other ones, and it will still stay here. You can't go too far away, or generate. But the main thing this is good for is the main thing this is good for. Oh, we can take a look at the gizmo. The main thing this is good for is for cinematics. And for like people who render in general, because then you'll be able to like really carefully position things. I imagine for games it'll also be useful to some degree, like for certain things. Like you can spawn trees maybe a little bit closer to an object than you would normally, and then just slightly move them away from like problematic areas. You can fix collision issues or penetration issues in general, right? If things just spawn a little bit too close. So I can see it being useful in games as well, to be fair. Let's see the new gizmo. Yeah, so the new gizmo has a circle in the middle. Yeah, so there's the line. Yeah, let's actually go to a world. Just so we can see it better. So now, yeah, when you move it, there's a gizmo. Is that for all? That's for all axes. Why does it say meters? Why does it say centimeters and meters? That I don't like. How do I change that? I want it to say 450. I want it to give me Unreal units. I know it's centimeters. I don't want to do the math right now. I don't want to be like, oh, it's 4.5 meters. Yeah, their preferences. I don't know. Measurement? Measuring tool units. It's not the measuring tool that I want. Gizmo. I don't see any information here. Oh, this is GUI? It says GI here. GI. Yeah, gizmos. GI. But I don't see any options for this. That's not. I don't like that because it used to give me the number in Unreal units, which is what to have it here. I don't like that it's showing me that. Why is it custom?
Ad break incoming, pausing the stream so you don't miss me rage quitting a compiler.
Now it's a little concerning. If I set it to UE Classic. No? That doesn't do anything. I mean, it is instead of centimeters. I don't like that one bit. I don't like it saying 4. I want to see 400. I'm not building This has no distance at all. So 2-axis has no distance. Single axis has distance, and I don't know. Personally, I really don't like the fact that it says meters and not Unreal units. Hopefully that's an option on full release. I mean, I don't... CVAR maybe? I mean, maybe it's preview built, so I don't know what the CVARs are. I'm sure once the full release happens or a few more days go by, someone's going to be asking the same question. But yeah, I don't want to see centimeters, and I just want the number. If this says 690, I want it to say 690, which is how it's always been, right, in previous versions. I don't know how I feel about this line thing in general. I see so that line that's sticking out is my mouse. I mean, cool, I guess. I don't really care much for or about it, rather. But yeah, this is I don't know how I feel about this yellow line in general. I don't see it's cool seeing where it came from, but I don't care about seeing the line personally. The main one is I want the measurements to be consistent. So anyway, but that's the gizmo. That's pretty much all there is, right? Same. I don't know what really the difference is aside from that annoying thing and some showing lines in this thing. So I mean, if I was to open here, hold on. I'm gonna close this. Let's open 5.7 real quick. Useful for rotation line thing. Oh, it's useful for, I guess, lining up a rotation to something that's further away, actually. So I could see it being useful for that. I just want to take a look at what it shows here when I move. Still opening. There it is. Hey Mario, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I was just going over the entire roadmap, and I'm just doing a quick test on the 5.7. Yeah, I guess it's this. Yeah, so there's just nothing here. It doesn't give me any information, but I prefer this, honestly. So this one doesn't have a camera-based rotation one, which the new one does, which is kind of nice. I don't mind this. This is a little more hard to select, so I agree with like the improvements there, but I really don't like that it says the distance there, and the distance is in a format that I don't want. That's a me problem. That's a me problem. Anyway, It'd be cool to take the rotation gizmo, but keep the other classic. I just want to. I'm fine with the new stuff as long if I can turn it off. The line. I don't care about the line in the move, and I don't care at all about the distance. The distance is now showing me in a format that's not. I'm not using. So it's really weird. But I think I'm gonna call it here, guys, because my throat is not. I'm like, I finished this entire bottle during the, and I'm like, my throat's still not happy. Just too much talking. It's like, shut up. Anyways, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll actually start setting up the animation stuff then, and making progress with the game. For tonight, though, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys. Bye bye.